It's me. I'm the special one.
Ta-da!
Gonna pick out a few. Grab a smick or a clue. The trolls are out in full force. Guess it's par for the course. Should look at DMs. Rather stab my eyes with a pen. Oh, please let this one be bright. It's no use. My mentions are all full of shite.
Hello, Holy Comments listeners. Did you know that you can get an extended and unedited version of this episode on Patreon? It includes 2 to 4 more comment reviews than you'll hear in this episode. Hit the link in the description to watch that. Janice Selby has also just released her new book, Divorcing Religion, a memoir and survival handbook. This is a must-read if you've left religion. Find the link to this book in the description. Welcome to Holy Comments. This is the podcast that is Judgment Day for Holy Trolls. It is a reckoning for the righteous and a sentencing for the sanctimonious. This is the podcast where we review the strange and hideous comments that we get on the internet as atheist women making content. This is my lovely co-host, Janice. How are you doing, Janice?
Hello, everyone. I'm doing great. I'm excited to find out what kind of comments we're sharing this week. Oh dear.
Yeah, we've had some pretty hairy ones. I don't know if the audience knows this, but John picks them. So we don't really know. Like, we give him all of the comments. So he has like a folder of like 500 of them or something. And he picks them. So we don't really know which ones we're going to be responding to. So it's all a big surprise for us. Also, for people who may be tuning in for the first time, you can get a much longer version of this video on Patreon. It includes the reviews of a couple more comments than you're going to see on the free version. And it's uncensored, so you get to hear us cuss like sailors. Although sometimes we just don't at all, but still, it's uncensored. The link for that is down below. And also, Janice has her book in the background of her shot there. And you should buy that. It's called Divorcing Religion, a memoir and a survival handbook. Did I get
That's
that correctly?
it. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
The link for that is down below, and you must get that book.
Hooray.
And also a quick explainer of our rating system, because we haven't explained that in a couple of episodes. We rate our comments out of 5 smicks because the greatest comment of all time was posted on my YouTube channel a long time ago, and the commenter said, "There are a million smicks and a clue, and you don't even have a smick." And so, to celebrate that hilarious comment, and to eventually get a clue, we're rating our comments out of smicks. 5 smicks.
Maybe today's the day, Courtney. Maybe today's the day we finally get a smick and clue.
Are you ready for the first comment?
I'm ready.
You are disgusting. You should start fasting. You'll thank me later.
Boy, I mean, talk about low-hanging fruit. When people start commenting on the way that a person looks, that just means they don't have any kind of argument, really. And that comment was directed at me. Yeah, I remember that. Oh, well, I love me just the way I am. Too bad you don't, but I'm okay with that.
What the hell? Who wants to start fasting? Have you had food? Like, who gives that up on purpose?
You know what? When I was very religious, because I was a very devout Pentecostal and a Mennonite, and then I called myself a Mentecostal, I would fast and pray. And one time I fasted for 12 days. All I had was water in 12 days. And I felt super holy and very close to the Lord. Mm-hmm. It didn't stick.
Are you sure that wasn't just delirium?
I think there's a good chance that it was. Yes.
Like,
Hey,
I
let's
can
hear
go
God's
4
voice.
hours without eating.
Yeah, those days are in the past. So, no, been there, done that. Not interested in trying it again.
I would say to this commenter that they should consider not being a walking red flag. You'll thank me later. I don't know, but I totally agree with you. I think that when commenters get personal, it's just like more telling about them than it is about us. Usually it indicates that they're very, very frustrated. And that can be because they don't know how to respond to what we've said, or it could be because we are living freely, not believing in the things that they accept as fact. And they might have a little doubt that makes them uncomfortable. So I think that that's usually the case when people lash out like this.
My husband is 22 years older than me. And and like, you know what, babe? You're allowed to be old, and I'm allowed to be fat. And that's that's the way it is. That's how this relationship is gonna roll. I got more to love, more cushion for the pushing. This body is built for comfort, not for speed. And he is down with that. He's down with all of that. He thinks it's pretty great.
I've always been the type of person that likes to celebrate with food, and I love to cook for people. And like
And you're a
that's
good
like
cook.
totally, thank you very much. That's like totally my love language, right? Like I want to be able to cook for people. And so when people come over who have like food hangups, like they can't eat 700 different things, or they're like the crunchy mom, although they'll only eat stuff that's like organically prayed over by
The
witch
granola gods.
from Nebraska. Yeah, like it's it's such a party pooper. You know what I mean? Like I love people. I love being around people who have a genuine love of food and will celebrate it with me because it's one of my favorite things. Half my books here in this room filled with books are cookbooks. Food rocks.
It's true.
How many smicks should we give this commenter?
I would like to give them -5, but I don't know if we can do that. But I'm going to give them 0. How about that?
We can't be losing clues.
Getting farther and farther away.
I'm going to give it a 0.5 because, yeah, they're disgusting.
Do better, people.
Yes. Are you ready for the next comment?
I am.
Godless, yet obviously obsessed with God. That makes perfect sense.
Oy vey.
It's not like atheists are not obsessed with God. We are obsessed with people who claim the existence of the God. And more importantly, we are bothered by their overreach. You know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
showing up at my doorstep is just one example of how you're taking your little belief system and your little magical stories and you're dragging it into my life. And if you think that you can do that, you can drag it into my life and I'm not going to have anything to say about it, you don't know me very well.
I mean, they are losing their mind over in the United States. I call them Christian supremacists, but yeah, the Christian nationalists there wanting to insist that Bible readings happen again in the public schools, and that creationism, I got my air quotes, young Earth creation nonsense, is taught in science. It's outrageous. It's crazy, and you cannot mandate faith. It's
Yeah.
not a true belief if it's at the point of a gun. If someone's being forced, I guess you could force me to say I believe in the tooth fairy, but it wouldn't mean that I do believe in the tooth fairy. So, meh, don't like it.
But I think it's definitely an important distinction that we are not obsessed with God. We are obsessed with those who do his bidding. And not
Right.
really obsessed because I mean, and this is another thing that kind of gets me with these comments is that they assume they come to our Facebook pages or our Threads account or wherever, and they assume that, because all of our posts on our pages are about atheism, that is literally the beginning and ending of our personality. And it's like, that again says more about the commenter than it does about us. Because if you assume that our entire personality is on Facebook, yours must be. And I would just urge people like that to put down the phone, log off. You don't have to be on there, because my page is like maybe 5% of who I am. And when I log off of there, I'm not talking about atheism. I'm hanging out with my kids, walking my dog, watching Star Trek, swimming, all kinds of things, and not even remotely thinking about religion. So,
Here, here. I agree.
how many smicks does this person deserve?
I'm not that impressed. I am going to give them 0.5. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a 0.5er for me too. Very, very just dull and uninteresting. All right. Are we ready for the Council of Prayers?
Oh, yay.
So, for those who might just be tuning in for the first time, the Council of Prayers is not to be confused with the Council of Prayers. It's a council made up of people who have told us that they are praying for us. And that's where the magic happens, right, Janice? Because eventually those prayers are going to work, and we're going to be just like rolling in it. We're going to have mansions. We're going to live right on the lake. Maybe we'll have boats.
Oh, wow. That's what I'm praying for. Yep. Yep.
You know what I'm praying for the world to find some sanity. That would just be nice. Just a little bit of sanity.
I'm not even sure that's possible anymore.
How are things going with you, Janice? Has the council been doing its work?
Well, I mean, just look at this hair. I am having a good hair day. So, I mean, I know I've said that before, but it feels like it's so rare that it happens. I get really excited when my hair is obedient and does what I want it to do. And otherwise, I think things are going okay. Like, we haven't had a ton of snow. My car's working just fine. So far, so good, but nothing like exceptional. How about you?
Well, first of all, I think your hair always looks nice. But yeah, things are going okay. Nothing really has changed since last week. So I live a very repetitive and dull life that I like. Okay. I'm not complaining. I like it.
Bring on the boring. Yep.
Yes.
I'm a fan.
Bring on the jammies and Star Trek reruns, and I am one happy lady.
Same.
But nothing really bad has happened either. So the Council of Prayers may be doing their job.
Maybe.
But we do have a new inductee, and they said this.
Praying for you.
Short and sweet. I think we've seen this exact comment.
Yeah, I've heard this before.
Someone else. It's funny though, because they were two different comments from two different people, but like the exact grammar, emojis, everything. But I'm gonna be honest with you, Janice. I have my doubts that they're actually praying for us, but
Yeah, boy, I don't know. I mean, I used to have a list when I was very religious of people that I prayed for. And I didn't just pray for people I knew. I prayed for strangers. Oh, I spent a lot of time praying for Richard Dawkins, whatever good that did, and famous atheists, because I thought for sure they were going to burn. And we would say, turn or burn, turn or burn. But anyway, so yeah, I had a lot of people on my prayer list for sure. And I did pray for them. Sometimes I even fasted and prayed for them, if you remember.
wow.
But this is so generic, praying for you. Like, what are they praying? I'd
Yeah.
like them to pray that I'd become filthy rich, and I expect them to be sending $20 at least each time along with their prayer, because televangelists say that's how it works. That's what it takes.
Or at the very least, a lifetime supply of ramen. Shin Black, please. At the very least. But yeah, thank you very much for praying for us. We will keep track of the results and add you to our council.
One day it's going to work. One day it's all going to pay off.
Yeah.
That's a lot of prayers.
Yeah.
The council's growing.
It's getting thick in there. Hopefully we'll get some results soon. Are you ready for the next comment, Janice?
Bring it on.
I think this one might have been directed to you, and it might have been a DM or a message.
Ooh, let's
Private
see
message.
what it says. Not private anymore.
These cowardly atheists need God and Jesus Christ back into their souls. It is past time that Christianity and Christians in all denominations should stop being embarrassed for being Christian.
Yes, indeed. This was to me, and I want to give you some context. So I belong to a local skeptics, atheists, and humanist group. And when it was the Christmas time season here, I got my air quotes going on. There was a big nativity scene set up in our downtown center. It's on city property, and I don't care if people want to put up a nativity. Who cares? But then there was a sign beside it, and the sign said, "Keep Christ in Christmas." And here in British Columbia, our government has a mandate to remain neutral on matters of religion. So the group of which I'm a president, did reach out to City Hall and say, you know what, we want that sign removed. You're supposed to be neutral when it comes to religion. And there was boy, we got a lot of haters for saying that. So this is one of the haters. So yes, they thought I'm a cowardly atheist. They even capitalized cowardly. Cowardly atheists need God and Jesus back into their souls. Mm-mm-mm.
Are we cowardly? In what way? I'm just curious about that because do they not consistently try to convince us to believe to evade eternal torture? And we are saying no, we will not do that. So are we the cowards or are they?
Yeah, great point. Definitely, religion's very fear-based a lot of times. The other thing that does stand out to me is I'm just looking at the random capitalization in this note. So some words, I mean, I know, of course, they're going to capitalize Jesus and God. They can't get over that. But then the word all and denominations and embarrassed, big caps there. So.
I love that all denominations too. It's like my religion is so true that we have 44,000 different versions of it.
Well, there was a church I was raised in, and then a church I ended up attending on my own, and they both were Pentecostal, but one had split off from the other. And I'm going to tell you the very important reason. Now, listen closely, because at one, when they baptized you in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. But the other one, they baptized you in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. And that was worth splitting off. You got to be real careful not to tick people off when you're in the religious realm.
So did you side with the ghosts or the spirits?
I think I ended up going with the spirit. I think the original one was the ghost, but mainly I left there because I didn't want to be kind of stuck with my parents in their church. I wanted to go to a fancy big church that had lots of flashy lights and stuff like that for the concerts and the worship and all that. The really important things.
Yeah, for sure. Totally. I wonder if all of those random capitalizations are some kind of QAnon code.
Ooh, we should see if they spell anything.
Yeah.
Put them all together.
I don't. I just have this suspicion that the person who wrote this is not that clever. So I'm going to give this one a probably 0.5. Just dumb.
I'm going to give them 1 because they actually tracked me down somehow and sent this personally to me, not just on social
Oh my
media.
god.
So, and that was like a little bit creepy as well.
Yeah.
But there you go. So
Like
we'll
an
see.
email?
Yeah,
Ugh, that would
came
make
to
me
my
feel
email.
very unsettled.
Hmm.
All right. Are we ready for the next comment?
Hmm.
Remember, if there were no Christians, there would be no life. God would have no reason to continue this.
There was a long time where there were no Christians because Christianity is relatively new. There were people before there were
I
Christians.
don't even know what to say to this. This is hilarious. I don't even know what to say. There are so many problems with this. If there were no Christians, okay, well, first of all, I don't think Janice nor I have any desire to eliminate Christians from the world. You know, us being atheists is more just about us and our beliefs or lack thereof. And it's got nothing to do with what other people believe. I don't care what other people believe unless you know, walk up to my doorstep and drop it there, then I will have something to say about it.
Hmm.
But
Wow.
there would be no life. God would have no reason to continue this. So what he's saying is that the only reason why God has anything to do with earth is Christians and Christians only. So when Christians post on my content saying Jesus loves you or God loves you, it's not true. They are lying.
The self-righteousness, like the smugness and the myopic lens here where they're only looking at themselves is really it's shocking in this. If
Yeah.
there were no Christians, there would be no life.
Like, you might as well just have typed, I am the reason for life in the universe. It's me. I'm the special one.
Ta-da! Yeah.
I'm going to give this comment to Smicks because it was very, very funny to me.
It's amusing. Yeah, I'm going to give it 1.
Took me a minute to kind of figure it out. So, all right. The next comment.
It's so very disgusting to have persons of your ILK walking amongst good, honest, trustworthy, and well-adjusted Canadians.
Oh, I recognize this one too. That was also for me. Although we can actually pronounce it ilk. It's in capital
Yeah.
letters. But it's disgusting to have persons of your ilk walking amongst good, honest, trustworthy, and well, and that is for me saying that I'm certainly, according to this person, not honest or trustworthy or well adjusted. And that was news to me because I happen to think I'm all of those things.
Well, I happen to know you're all of those things, and you are.
Thanks, pal.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. It's like, do they clearly include themselves in the good, honest, trustworthy, and well-adjusted Canadians? But would a good, honest, trustworthy, and well-adjusted Canadian post a comment like this? I don't think so.
Excellent point.
I don't know on that one.
Yeah. And I mean, of course, they left the word Christian out of this one, but, I do suspect that it probably was a Christian who sent this to me, finding me disgusting.
How dare you? How dare you not share this random stranger's beliefs? Exactly. How dare you, Janice?
Oh boy. We get messages like this one and the last one, and it does make me wonder as I look around at my fellow Canadians. I'm like,
I know.
who amongst us is unhinged? There could be several.
It's feeling like more and more and more these days. I love that, Americans like to look to Canada and they always talk about how we're so polite and, oh, Canadians could never experience this or that or whatever. We're just so polite and calm and collected. No, we're not. Just come visit. We are just as nuts. We're like this far away from electing a Trump Jr.
Oh,
So
God. That's what we need the prayers for. That does not
Yeah.
happen. I would have appreciated this comment even more as a Canadian if they started it with "I'm sorry, but."
Yeah.
That would have been truly Canadian.
It would have. And you know what? Even the impolite, like inconsiderate and hateful Canadians say I'm sorry all the time too. So you can't tell. You can't tell just from the apologies who's the good ones and who's the bad ones.
That's right. Although the ones who call you disgusting, you know, you don't
Yeah.
really owe them
Oh yeah.
much.
Yeah. You can pretty safely put them into the don't really need to be around you column. Um How many smicks do you think our fellow Canadian deserves here?
Well, this one was pretty offensive, so I'm going to give it 0.5.
Yeah, I'm gonna follow your lead on that one. That one was I mean it's just I don't know. It didn't even feel like a very Canadian comment, you know.
Do better.
That was it. That was our last comment. And we're gonna have to name this episode something to do with Canada because it was almost all Canadian content.
Yeah, boy.
Where can people find you, Janice?
Oh, yeah. People can find me most places as Divorcing Religion. On Facebook, I'm Divorcing Religion Workshop. And as you mentioned earlier, my book is called Divorcing Religion, a Memoir and Survival Handbook. And I'm so happy people are appreciating that book and buying that book. So go on Amazon and you can get it too. And don't forget to get your ticket for the Shameless Sexuality Life After Purity Culture Conference happening in Seattle in May. That is going to be a great event.
And the links for all of these things are down below in the description. And remember that you can get a much longer version of this episode with all of the swear words left in on Patreon. And it will be worth it for this episode because we let a few strings of expletives go. And you can follow me at all of the links down below. I'm on Facebook, all of those things. Godless Mom, you know how to find me. And you can also buy some of my t-shirts at godlessmom.com. Throw that out there because the bank account needs it. And we will catch you next time. Thank you so much for watching.
Bye, everyone.